You are registered yourself for the exam. And talking about registering yourself for the exam, for those who are not in the United States, there are places where you can take your Nclex exam for the United States. The only two things that you need are your diploma nursing and is your license active. Guys, welcome back and bear with me. Today I'm doing a video in my kitchen. I'll do this for a little bit of time because I'm moving in and everything is everywhere. If I just take a photo of my house, it is a mess. Something came to me, international foreign educated nurses who want to self-sponsor themselves. What process will they take or undertake to get their Nclex done? So this video is about the process you have to undergo until you get your Nclex done. It is straightforward. You can do this by yourself. If this is your first time here, please do subscribe. My name is Marentina. Please do like, please do share. Give me your comments and tell me what videos you want me to work with. So what are the steps for you to undertake Nclex as an international or a foreign educated nurse? Simple. One, are you eligible? Eligibility are only two things here. One, you must have gone to a nursing school and obtained your diploma or your degree. Two, you must have taken the licensure exam in your country, passed, and you have an active license that is unrestricted. So once that is it, you've identified that is, then you can start the process of doing your Nclex exam. One thing I want to clarify, you don't need to have nursing experience to take the Nclex RN for the United States. The only two things that you need are your diploma nursing and is your license active. You can come straight out of college or out of school and start the process of taking the USRN exam. So once you're eligible, the second thing you want to do is to identify the board of nursing that you want to work with. And this is very essential because the board of nursing that you work with will determine how fast your things go. There's some board of nursing that has too much requirement. They're just too rigid for international nurses. And then there are those board of nursing that are way straightforward for nurses. And that's why take a minute and watch the video that I did that talks about states that I will recommend for you to process your USRN exam. These boards are friendly. They don't require one thing that stand out. Some things that some board of nursing asks. Some will ask you for social security number. Some will ask you to do English exam. You're in an international country. Please don't do your English exam before you take your Nclex because you will need your English exam later in the process and you'll have to retake it probably after it's expired, which to me is a waste of money because there are those states that don't require English exam. And then there's so many states that don't require SSN. Remember, we have 51 states. That means we have 51 board of nursing. Go ahead and identify. An example of a very favorable board of nursing is Texas Board of Nursing. Another favorable board of nursing is going to be New York, Connecticut. So watch the video, the link is on the description, and see which state works for you. The next step after identifying the nursing board, do read on their requirements, you have to pay their fees. Some of the requirements that this board of nursing will require are: one, you must do a background check. And then two, you must have your credential evaluation. Taking us to the next step. The next step, once you've applied with the board of nursing, you've paid your fees, and you've realized you meet their requirements, the second is to have your credential evaluation. Every board of nursing will tell you where they want your credential evaluated. One institution that almost all nursing board use is the CGFNS. Another common one is the Joseph Sinley. And those are the two ones I'll recommend you to use if the board of nursing works with them, because it's only these two institutions that will offer you something that is called visa screen that you will require at the end of this process when you're starting your immigration. So there's no need to have other institution verify or verify your credential if you can use CGFNS and use Joseph Sinley, and they'll have your documentation. That means when you need the visa screen, the process will be so easy for you. So have your credentials evaluated. When you're having your credential evaluated, you will have to contact your school where you did your nursing to send transcript to this body, and then you will have to ask your board of nursing to send like a report on your licensure to the Credential Evaluation body. They will evaluate your credential, and once they are done, they will send the report to that board of nursing. Once the board of nursing is satisfied, like, you know what, this person has met all the requirements, that means if they wanted you to do the background check, then you've also done the background check. And once you're done, the next thing you're going to do is to create a Pearson Vue account. Pearson Vue is the body that is mandated to administer Nclex exam in the US, and you're going to pay them, create an account, pay them, and then they're going to see if you meet all the requirements. Of course, they're going to authorize you to do exams. So they're going to send you something called authority to test. Authority to test expires in 90 days. So within 90 days, make sure you are registered yourself for the exam. And talking about registering yourself for the exam, for those who are not in the United States, there are places where you can take your Nclex exam. There are countries that are so fortunate that they have the examination center. But if you don't have an examination center, in the Pearson Vue website, they have a section on all the places that you can take Nclex exam. They'll just ask you where you are, and then they pull you a list of where you can take your Nclex exam. I'm from Kenya. I took my Nclex exam in India because at that time that was the closest to where I could take Nclex exam. Lucky enough, we have a test center in Africa right now, in South Africa. So do know where is closest to you and register for your Nclex exam. When all these process is taking, like your credentials are being evaluated, your board of nursing, you're meeting the requirements, always ensure you're preparing for your Nclex. And when that day comes, that you have 90 days, you've gotten your ATT, you have 90 days, your role is to just go in, do your exam, ace it, and then go to the next step. Because the only thing that stands between you and starting your immigration process to the United States of America most of the time is Nclex. Whether you are a self-sponsored or whether you have an agency, you can't start that process without passing the Nclex exam. So in summary, the steps that you need to undertake to have to do your Nclex exam as a foreign educated nurse is meet the eligibility, which I say you don't need to have nursing experience to start the Nclex examination process as a foreign educated nurse. 2, you have to have your credentials evaluated. 3, you have to choose a state board of nursing. 4, once you meet all the requirements, you have to register with Pearson Vue, and which will give you your ATT, and after the ATT, voila, it's time to do your Nclex exam. Go in, ace that exam. Now, said and done, I did a video on steps that you have to follow. Now, this is the entire step that you have to undertake to become a USRN from the start till you land to the United States of America. This is where the link is. Please do click on the link. Please do watch. Please start your USRN journey. Stop procrastinating.